British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thomas Adams, and here are your news headlines to 1 o'clock. BC's clocks turned back to standard time over the weekend, giving British Columbians the benefit of an extra hour, but studies say there are more factors that affect quality of sleep.
A new study by the American Medical Association says light exposure can link to various cardiovascular conditions. The study gathered data from nearly 90,000 people aged 40 and older. It showed higher risk of coronary artery disease, heart failure, stroke, and other cardiovascular issues for individuals exposed to light at night. Light exposure can affect circadian rhythms, the 24-hour cycle that helps many bodily functions. Without consistent sleep schedules and proper light exposure strategies, experts say it can negatively impact sleep and overall well-being. Caroline Doyle, BCIT News.
Factors like irregular schedules, travel, shift work, and screen time can negatively impact your sleep. The federal government will unveil proposed changes to its electric vehicle sales mandate this winter, federal officials say. Mark Cauchi, Director General of Energy and Transportation at Environment and Climate Change Canada, told MPs on the House of Commons Environment Committee today his department is looking to share the results of its highly anticipated review of the mandate by the end of the year. On September 11th, Prime Minister Mark Carney abruptly paused the rollout of the EV mandate for 2026 and launched a 60-day review of it. Starting next year, manufacturers were supposed to ensure 20% of all new cars, SUVs, and light-duty trucks are sold with zero-emission vehicles, including plug-in hybrids. But with U.S. tariffs hammering Canada's auto sector, Carney exempted car makers from those sales targets for a year to help give them liquidity. Through those car makers also have called for the complete repeal of the sales mandate. The latest data from Statistics Canada shows that EVs make up 8.77% of new vehicle sales in August. Through some customers may be holding out for the promised revival of the federal subsidies for new EVs. As Prime Minister Mark Carney prepared to visit the United Arab Emirates, human rights advocates are calling on his government to do more to stop the flow of weapons from the UAE to militia in Sudan committing acts of ethnic violence.
The UAE insists it isn't arming the Rapid Support Forces militia, but numerous human rights groups say they believe planes meant to carry humanitarian aid from the Gulf country to Sudan are regularly delivering weapons instead. World Vision Canada says Canadian-made weapons and components possibly delivered through the United Arab Emirates are driving the violence in Sudan, which has been suffering through a civil war for more than 2 years. Carney has said he intends to visit the UAE later this month as Canada seeks investment in fields like artificial intelligence. Brenda Molina Navidad, The Canadian Press.
More in politics, Prime Minister Mark Carney's first budget is set to be tabled tomorrow in Ottawa. The government has prompted it as a building big in Canada while shifting away from economic reliance on U.S. trade. Canadian press reporter Craig Lord says this budget is going to look different than ones in the past.
Carney has billed this budget as a plan to spend less but invest more. Now, what does that mean? He's going to divide the presentation of this budget between a capital stream, money that goes toward building homes, infrastructure, major projects, stuff like that, and an operating stream, the rest of the money that goes towards government services, salaries, transfers to Canadians and provinces.
Moving to the United States, the government shutdown is poised to become the longest ever this week as the impasse between Democrats and Republicans has dragged into a new month. President Donald Trump says he won't be extorted by Democrats to reopen the government, making clear he has no plans to negotiate. In an interview aired Sunday on CBS's 60 Minutes, Trump predicted Democrats will capitulate to Republicans. Trump's comments signal the shutdown and could drag on as federal workers are set to miss additional paychecks. Thank you for tuning in to your news headlines at 1. I'm Thomas Adams, and have a great rest of your day.